What's going on, people? Mark from Double Clutch Auto Reviews here. Thank you again for tuning in for another review video. Today I'll be showing you guys my first 2021 vehicle review, the hot new subcompact SUV from Kia. This is the 2021 Kia Seltos S. This 2021 Seltos S was lent to me for the day by my friend Jana. Thank you very much, Jana, for letting me borrow your car for the day for this review video. Over the last 15 years, Kia as a car brand has been doing great things. 15 years ago, brands like Kia and Hyundai were the laughingstock of the car community. Now, they are prospering like I never would have imagined. Now, I'm sure you've all heard of the Kia Telluride, the extremely popular new three-row SUV that has been getting tons of awards, flying off the shelves, and loads of off-the-chart ratings. There's also the Kia Stinger that just came out a few years ago that has been widely praised for its sharp styling and surprising performance numbers. With the Seltos, I believe that Kia wanted to bring some of the magic from the Kia Telluride into a smaller, more affordable package. Now let's see how the Seltos stacks up against the competition in this segment. There are a lot of automakers with a lot of great vehicles in this segment of subcompact SUVs, so the Kia Seltos certainly has to bring its A game if it wants to make a statement. So let's dive right in and check it out. The starting MSRP for the 2021 Kia Seltos LX and S trims are around $22,000 US, and the highest trim 2021 Kia Seltos SX Turbo, fully optioned out, comes in just under $30,000 MSRP. The Seltos is offered in front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. This one is the Seltos S and it's front-wheel drive, so it is the most economical and fuel-efficient of the trims. But if you would like all-wheel drive, the all-wheel drive models come standard with a center locking differential, which is pretty cool. What the center locking differential essentially does is lock both wheels on the same axle to rotate together. The center locking differential significantly increases your traction when off-roading and also helps maintain vehicle stability in poor road conditions like ice or snow. All Kia Seltoses also have 7.3 inches of ground clearance and a 28-degree approach and departure angle. So right out of the box, an all-wheel drive Seltos doesn't seem to be too bad of a little off-roader, especially because I don't think it was intended to be. So now we'll move on to the exterior styling. I think it is a very futuristic and sharp-looking little SUV. I've heard that many people actually, including Jana, think it looks very similar to a Range Rover Evoque. I'll let you guys decide. Take a look at the 2021 Kia Seltos, and now take a look at a 2020 Range Rover Evoque. And now again, take a look at the 2021 Kia Seltos, and again now at the Range Rover Evoque. I could see some resemblances here and there, don't you think? To the untrained eye, the Seltos may appear to be a much more expensive SUV than it actually is. Alright, now moving on to the front end of the 2020 Seltos S. I think Kia did a really good job with its overall exterior styling of this car. I think it looks really sharp, futuristic, and modern. And in my opinion, the front end and the side profile really make it stand out. And of course, being a Kia, it has a signature tiger nose grille, which looks really nice. There's also this really cool feeling texture along the metal trim piece around the outside of the grille. Gives it a lot of dimension, makes it look really bold. I'm a big fan. The texture also kind of fades in, going from smooth to textured, from either the outside in or the inside out. And the grooves also reflect the sunlight, as you can see. Really makes it stand out. And the actual grille itself, this black piece right here, has this interesting geometric design pattern. I think they did a really good job with this whole grille design. Looks really sharp. And now moving on to the headlights. When just referring to the headlight design, I really like them. This car comes with LED daytime running lights, which look really cool. The LED daytime running lights also extend from the headlight into the grille, as you can see right here. It really ties in the whole front end. I think they did an excellent job with this styling. However, I think where they really messed up is that the daytime running lights are LED, but the actual headlights are halogens. I think this is a very poor decision made by Kia when building this car. As you can see right here in this shot, the LED daytime running lights look really cool up top, but as you look down below, the old halogens just really make the front end look outdated when the lights are on. The lights off, it looks great. The lights on, I think it just completely throws off the look. Not a big fan of that decision. Kia also added to the front end of the 2021 Seltos this kind of faux skid plate right here. I know it's not a real skid plate, but I definitely think it adds to the dimension and presence of the front end of this Seltos. The 2021 Seltos also comes with many different paint color combinations to choose from, including Mars Orange and Star Bright Yellow. You can also get a few two-tone color options like this Seltos has, which is pretty cool. Something to keep in mind though, if you want a two-tone color scheme, which I think I would want, you can't get a sunroof. I have no idea why. Seems like there's no reason why it should be that way. I think it's actually a very foolish production decision made by Kia. Why would you want to make people choose between having a sunroof or the paint color scheme that they want? but that's just me. Now moving back onto the two-tone paint schemes. I think my favorite color combinations of the Seltos are the dark ocean blue base with the white roof and mirrors, and the star bright yellow base with the black roof and mirrors. Jana's Seltos is a two-tone with the clear white base and the cherry black roof and mirrors. And as you can see, this trim Seltos also comes with the roof rails, and they have an interesting design. The rear end of them sticks out maybe about 2 or 3 inches past the rear mounting point. I don't know if there's much practicality to this design aspect, but I think it gives it just a little bit more edginess to the side profile of this car's look. Taking a look under the hood of the 2021 Kia Seltos S. This Seltos S has the 2.0 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, making 146 horsepower and 132 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to Kia's IVT transmission, or intelligent variable transmission, which is essentially a CVT transmission. Now, if you opt out for the S Turbo or SX Turbo trim, you get a 1.6 liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder engine, making 175 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. And that's mated to a 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. So roughly you get about 30 more horsepower and 60 more pound-feet of torque if you upgrade to a turbocharged model of the Seltos. The 2.0 liter naturally aspirated inline 4-cylinder engine, such as this one, is also multi-port injection, while the 1.6 liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder is GDI, or gasoline direct injection. Now before we jump inside the 2021 Kia Seltos, I want to show you the key fob that it comes with. It has a switchblade style key, and on the higher trim models it has a remote start button in the middle of the key fob that would be right here, but on this one it does not. I've heard others say that it kind of looks like a bomb detonator, which I think is pretty funny. All right, now jumping inside the 2021 Kia Seltos. The first thing I notice is I think the interior is surprisingly nicer than I was expecting it to be for a 2021 vehicle at a price point of around $23,000. The seats are cloth in the center and have leather-wrapped bolstering and a leather-wrapped headrest. The steering wheel, the shift knob, the center console armrest, and the door armrest are also all leather-wrapped. And between the shiny black accents and metal trim pieces around the steering wheel and dashboard, they made this interior quite attractive for a brand new sub $25,000 vehicle. There's also this very subdued blue trim piece along the dashboard, as well as matching blue stitching around the shift knob and the door armrests. I don't necessarily think it matches for this car because there's no blue on the outside of this car, it's just white and black. However, on a blue car, I think that'd be a very interesting and neat touch to bring the colors of the exterior into the interior. Kia did hit the mark with bringing some of the exterior styling into the interior with the door speakers. There's this really cool geometric shape pattern on each door speaker that looks very similar to the grille up front. I love the look of these speakers and how Kia did this. I think this is really neat attention to detail. Overall, I think the interior feels decently roomy, fairly comfortable, with ergonomically set up controls. And even though this is only the S trim, this thing is loaded with safety features standard. This includes forward collision avoidance assistance, driver attention warning, high beam assist, lane departure warning, lane keep assist, lane follow assist, and so on and so on. And for the higher trim models, there's also blind spot detection and rear cross traffic alert. The highest trim SX Turbo model also has adaptive cruise control, one of my favorite features on newer cars. The Seltos S comes with an 8-inch touchscreen with voice recognition and Bluetooth capability, as well as Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. The infotainment system seems to be very intuitive. I really like it. It's responsive to my touch, and it's easy to navigate. This car, of course, also has a backup camera, being a 2021 model, with satisfactory resolution, but still works. And if you upgrade to the SX Turbo model, you get a 10.25-inch touchscreen. You also get the upgraded Bose sound system with the connected mood lighting. And what that does is if you're playing a song, the interior mood lighting changes with the beat of the music, which I think is really cool. A few more interesting features that you get with the higher trim models of the Kia Seltos are a wireless phone charger, a sunroof if you don't get the two-tone paint job, of course, bigger 18-inch alloy wheels. These are the 17-inch wheels. I actually think I like the 17-inch wheels design better, but that's just my personal preference. You would also get rear climate control vents and a rear USB charging port, and a smart key with remote start, and a theft protection immobilizer if you upgrade to the higher trim model. There is also another feature that Kia placed amongst the trim lineup of the Seltos in an interesting way. The EX and SX turbo trims have a power window with driver one-touch auto up and auto down. But the LX, the S, which is this model, and the S Turbo only have the driver's window one-touch auto down, not auto up. I find this very intriguing as to why they chose to have the driver's one-touch auto up and down for the EX and SX turbo trims, but not the rest of the trims. I mean, really? What does that involve? Upgrading the window switch and then adding in a computer module to allow it to have the auto down and auto up? Correct me if I'm wrong, But doesn't that seem weird to not just make all the trims have that feature? It doesn't seem like it would cost that much more to add on to these other trims. Just a strange decision by Kia to do that, in my opinion. The Seltos also comes standard with some handy reminders and alerts. Of course, there is a backseat reminder in case you like to leave your children behind in the car. When you shut off the car, it'll give you a little reminder to not leave them behind. And if you like to frequently text and Snapchat your friends while you're waiting at a red light, this car has a red light reminder. It will indicate in front of you that the lead vehicle is moving away, so you know that the light is turned green and you may proceed. However, this only works obviously if there's a car in front of you in the first place. But I do think that it is a cool feature that will come in handy for many people. Overall, the interior is comfortable, ergonomic, and spacious for a subcompact SUV at this price range. Okay, now moving on to the rear seats. Now I'm sitting back here with the driver's seat in the position where it would be as if I were driving, and I'm 5'11", 6 feet if I'm feeling really confident that day. And I have tons of leg room, tons of headroom. I have no problem sitting back here and enjoying myself. This rear seat is plenty spacious for a little subcompact SUV. I'm really impressed with it. And you know what makes the rear seats of the 2021 Kia Seltos S even better? Reclining back seats. I mean, it doesn't move much, but they do recline. And the best part about these reclining seats is that every trim of the Seltos has them. I feel like I'd have no problem hanging out here on a long road trip, really. If it were just 4 people, no problem. 5 people though, might get a little cramped back here. There is also a center armrest with 2 cup holders. Unfortunately though, with the S trim, you don't get some of the rear seat amenities that the higher trims do. Like seat back cargo pockets. As you can see, these are just hard plastic. And you don't get any rear climate control vents or a USB port to charge your devices. And now moving on to the trunk, you'll notice that the Seltos has a decent amount of cargo room for the size of it. With the rear seats up, you have about 26.6 cubic feet of cargo space, and with the rear seats folded down, you have about 62.8 cubic feet of cargo space, almost 63 cubic feet. To have 63 cubic feet of cargo space and to seat 2 occupants up front comfortably is quite impressive for this little subcompact SUV. And if you want even more cargo space in the trunk, all 2021 Kia Seltoses have a trunk floor that can be adjusted to be lowered about 4 inches to give you even more cargo room. And it can easily be moved back up to give you an even loading floor. And lastly, I wanted to mention something else about the rear end that I thought was funny. You see these metal trim pieces that go all the way across the rear bumper, as well as these openings that you might think look like exhaust tips? Well, in fact, they are not. They're just fake vents. But I will admit they do add to the sharp, futuristic look of the car. The actual exhaust tip is right down here. I also do like the look of the rear diffuser that they put in as well. All of the design aspects of this car I think tie together to give it a really modern look. Alright guys, now let's take out the 2021 Kia Seltos S and show you how it drives. Okay guys, and now we're behind the wheel of the 2021 Kia Seltos S. My first impression driving this car, and these are Jana's words as well, this car looks a lot sportier than it actually is. As far as comfort goes, it hits the mark, especially for the price range. It eats up bumps pretty well, not all the time, but most of the time. The steering feel is decently weighted. It feels a little bit numb and doesn't give me too much feedback from the road. However, it's pretty direct and I feel like the car is overall pretty controllable with my steering input. I think all the dials and switches in this car really don't look cheap at all. I think they did a really good job designing them. They feel solid, well built. I like it. Good job, Kia. They are plastic, but they don't seem like they're super cheap. What does stink though is that this is the S trim, so I have a lot of blank switches here that would be for the heated seats and the center locking differential and all that stuff. Kind of reminds you that you're in the base model and not the SX Turbo model. But for someone that doesn't care about all that fancy stuff and going fast, this is an excellent vehicle to get you comfortably from A to B on a daily basis. I have to mention as well, Kia and Hyundai also have some of the best warranties in the business, offering a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. That's awesome. There's a decent amount of road noise on the highway. There's a little bit of wind buffering. That might bother some people, but to me, for the price of this car, it's really not that big of a deal. All right, let's see here. Oh my God. So you push a little button that looks like a steering wheel on the steering wheel, and at first it goes gray, it lights up in your tachometer, and then when the car notices that it's picking up the lane lines, it goes green, and the car is literally steering itself. Like, oh, it's reminding me to keep my hands on the steering wheel. This is pretty cool. A little scary, but cool. Oh, look, oh my God. It blinks when it's activating. Let's see if I force it. Yeah, if I intentionally move the steering wheel, the car will let you do it, but the icon will blink and then it'll actually shut off. So just to make sure everyone knows, These safety features are not to be 100% relied on at all. They are just for your convenience to help you stay in the lane when you're driving on the highway with your hands on the wheel and with you fully paying attention. These are not to be relied on 100%. They're not foolproof and they can have a glitch and they can fail. Or the sun glare gets in its way or it doesn't read the road right. You always should rely on your inputs as a driver 100% all of the time. However, I cannot deny that it is truly amazing that they have integrated all of these safety features and technology into a vehicle that is relatively very affordable for a brand new car. It's just mind-blowing to think how far vehicle technology has come in the last 10 or 15 years. For my personal preference though, I would just have all these safety features turned off for the most part. Unless I'm going on a really long road trip, I might put on the lane keep assist. Sure, they're convenient if you want them, but me personally, I like to drive the car myself and make sure that the car isn't gonna just make a turn unexpectedly that I didn't want it to. In my opinion, if these cars do have these safety features, they should all be able to be turned off completely with just a push of one button. All right, I'm turning these things off. I don't want the car to steer itself for me anymore. The visibility is great. I can see all around me. This car is also very easy to park. All right, we'll put it in sport mode right now. All right, let's do a dig from stop. All right. So when you put your foot to the floor in the 2021 Kia Seltos with the 2.0 liter, nothing much happens right away. There's 3 modes that you can drive this car in. There's normal, there's smart, which is adaptive to your driving habits, and sport mode, of course. However, as far as acceleration goes, there's really not that much difference between normal and sport. Sport does hold on to the revs a little bit longer, but it really doesn't accelerate that strong in any mode, really. You can tell when you're in sport mode too, just putting around, that it's still holding the RPMs around 2,500 to 3,000 RPMs versus in normal mode around 1,000 to 1,500 RPMs, just cruising at 30 miles an hour. This car was not meant for straight line acceleration, or even turning for that matter. Oh man, doesn't want to turn. All right, let's get onto the highway here. So we're on an on-ramp, and there is tons of body roll. Me coming hot here. Oh my God. Woo! All right, that handled that pretty poorly. This is certainly not sports car handling by any means. The steering, however, felt relatively predictable and direct. I will give it that. So despite the very noticeable body roll, all Kia Seltoses actually come with a torque vectoring system. Kia calls it the torque vectoring corner control, or TVCC. This car does this by using many sensors and computers to detect yaw rate, which is essentially how much the car is rotating off of its vertical axis. It also uses steering input and throttle input sensors to direct a certain amount of power to a certain wheel at a certain time. And it all does this to help maintain traction and vehicle stability in corners while counteracting unwanted understeer. Overall, for what this car is, I do like this car a lot. The interior is comfortable. It overall seems very well built. It is not exciting or thrilling in any sense of those words, but it is certainly satisfactory for a daily driver economy car. For the purposes that this car was built, it suits those very well. For performance and excitement purposes, maybe the looks will satisfy, but not the actual driving experience. But that's okay, because it's not what the car was made for. And for a price point between $22,000 to $30,000, I think it stacks up pretty well against the competition. If you're considering getting a vehicle like the Subaru Crosstrek, the Honda HR-V, a Jeep Compass, Hyundai Kona, any of these vehicles, you certainly should put the 2021 Kia Seltos on your shopping list. All right, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, hit that thumbs up and consider subscribing. Catch you on the next one, guys. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye. There's also this super sweet... The Seltos also comes standy with plenty of... The car is literally turning itself. Oh, look at that. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. This thing almost just threw me into oncoming traffic. Oh my God. And you know what makes the Kia Seltos rear seat even better? Reclining back seat. And you know what makes the rear seat of the 2021 Kia Seltos S even better? You know what makes the rear seats of the 2021 Kia Seltos even better? reclining back seat.